At the beginning of the story, we see a show that you can think of as the British version of Big Boss. This season was going great. The players inside the house were living their normal daily lives, while in the studio, the entire crew was busy preparing for eviction night, the night when one contestant would be eliminated from the show. Everyone was so busy that no one paid attention to the news. Massive riots had broken out in London, killing many people. The entire city had been quarantined, no one could go in or out. 2 guests were on their way to the show in a taxi. They told the producer, Patrick, that most of the roads were closed and asked if they could cancel for the day. But Patrick yelled at them to get there as soon as possible. In the studio, a girl named Kelly was walking around the set, trying to learn more about the show's production. As she passed behind a glass wall, her phone started ringing. The contestants inside the house heard the sound. Patrick shouted angrily, "Whose phone is that?" Kelly immediately cut the call, but her phone kept ringing again and again. So she went up to the roof to take the call. On the call was her boyfriend, Rick. He told her that he had met a man on the road, stopped to help him, and the man stole his car. Now he was waiting for a train to get home. Kelly replied, "Look, I want to talk, but I'm really busy right now. Can we talk later?" Rick got upset and started arguing with her. In the middle of their fight, the call suddenly got disconnected. Soon after, all phone signals went dead, and even the train station boards shut down. Kelly went back inside, and everyone was talking about how their phones had lost signal. She went into an office and started searching through some papers. Danny came in and started flirting with her. Just then, the news channel showed that the entire country was burning, people were dying everywhere, but fans were still gathering outside the studio to watch the show. The presenter, Davina, who was also the real host of the actual show, came on screen to announce which member had been eliminated that night. Meanwhile, the 2 guests who were on their way to the show were now speeding down the road because their driver had been bitten by someone, and they were trying to get him to a doctor. Since they didn't know the way to the hospital, they decided to take him to the studio. After all, there was a doctor there. When they reached the studio, the driver was already dead. But after a few moments, his eyes turned white, he had become a zombie. When the guard went to check why no one was coming out of the car, he saw a horrifying face inside. Soon Danny arrived and saw the female guest eating the guard's face. That's when he realized the zombies had reached their set. Inside, Davina was interviewing the evicted guest, Pippa. But the production team suddenly noticed that the news channel signal had cut out. Outside, the zombies were attacking the fans. People started running in all directions, and many were bitten, turning into new zombies themselves. Danny panicked and ran toward the control room, but a zombie caught and killed him. The rest of the team scattered in fear. Patrick ran into a hallway and locked the door behind him, leaving one of his coworkers outside to die at the hands of the zombies. Then he went into a bathroom and pushed a man in a wheelchair toward the zombie to save himself. Davina started hearing screams through her earpiece and became extremely disturbed. The contestants inside the house thought that the fans outside were screaming with excitement, but in reality, zombies were attacking them. Soon, ordinary people began breaking into the studio, trying to escape from the zombies, but the zombies followed them inside. One zombie jumped on Davina and killed her. One by one, the production team and the evicted players all turned into zombies. But the contestants inside the house were still partying, completely unaware of what was happening outside. Back in the office, Kelly was arguing with a woman who used to be with Danny. Suddenly, zombie Danny showed up and killed her, then tried to attack Kelly. She ran into another office, locked the door with a cabinet, and tried calling for help, but the phone line was dead. She turned on the TV, which was only showing one channel reporting on the attacks. But soon that channel went off air too. Kelly broke down crying and eventually fell asleep there. The next morning, the contestants inside the house still had no idea what was going on in the world. Only a man named Space felt something was wrong. The morning alarm hadn't gone off, no one had yelled at them to set up their microphones, and even the diary room wasn't opening. He noticed that the cameras were fixed in one position, they weren't following them anymore, meaning no one was controlling them from behind. Meanwhile, Patrick, who had been hiding in the bathroom, saw that the zombie had left. The man he had sacrificed earlier had also turned into a zombie but couldn't move because of the wheelchair. Taking advantage of the situation, Patrick escaped. A little later, he saw that Davina had turned into a zombie too, and she suddenly began chasing him. Patrick hid inside a room and found Pippa alive there. She had been hiding all along. When Kelly woke up, she looked out the window and saw dead bodies scattered everywhere. Since both the phone and TV had stopped working, Kelly had no choice but to go outside. She picked up a pair of scissors and opened the door. Outside, she saw Danny eating someone's entrails. The moment Danny saw her, he ran toward her. Kelly tried to escape, but Danny knocked her down. To save herself, she stabbed the scissors straight into his head. Only then did he finally die. After that, Kelly ran downstairs. Suddenly, a zombie grabbed her leg, but she stabbed it with the scissors too and killed it. She took a car key from a dead body, but by then, more zombies had appeared and started chasing her. Kelly jumped over a boundary fence, locked it behind her, and ran back into the studio. This time, she took the corridors connected to the house set. There, she saw the house contestants arguing about what was happening outside. Near the corner, Kelly noticed a zombie eating a corpse, and soon it turned toward her and began chasing her. Kelly opened the first door she found and rushed inside. It was the diary room. After resting for a bit, Kelly went inside the house. The contestants were happy to see her. They thought she was a new participant on the show. Kelly told them everything, that zombies were roaming outside and people were dying everywhere. But they didn't believe her. They thought the blood on her face was fake makeup, all part of some stage drama. Kelly got angry and started yelling at them, but they still laughed it off. One player named Marky jokingly started touching the emergency exit door. Kelly warned him, saying that if he opened the door, she would stab him. But Marky thought this was part of the act, so he opened the door anyway. The moment he did, a zombie barged inside and pounced on him. Half the group ran away, while the rest tried to save him. But the zombie bit Angel's leg. Kelly grabbed a fire extinguisher and smashed it over the zombie's head again and again until it died. Now everyone finally believed Kelly was telling the truth. They all wanted to escape, but Kelly warned them that it was even more dangerous outside. She took them to the roof to show them the situation: fire, corpses, and zombies everywhere. Meanwhile, Rick woke up at the train station and realized no trains were coming. As he walked, a zombie began chasing him. Rick ran into the city and hid inside a store. He blocked the door using a refrigerator. Just then, a woman named Alex appeared and shot the zombie in the head. Then she started shooting at Rick too, but he shouted, "I'm human! Don't shoot!" Alex stopped and told him to grab supplies from the store. Then she took him in her car. But on the way, the car broke down. Rick started repairing it while Alex kept shooting at approaching zombies. Night fell, but the car still wasn't fixed. Suddenly, a group of zombies appeared. Alex had run out of bullets, so the two started running. After a while, they found a house and climbed over the fence to get inside. Alex slapped Rick and yelled, "Why didn't you fix the car yet?" Then she said, "Now I don't even have any bullets left." They went inside the house and finally took a breath of relief. It was empty. Back at the office, Patrick and Pippa were constantly arguing. Patrick ate food, drank some booze, and started burping loudly on purpose to annoy Pippa. Then he urinated in the trash can. Later, when his stomach got upset, he even defecated there. Inside the house, Kelly cleaned up the zombie's body and sanitized the area. After a while, the contestant named Angel began to go into shock. Kelly said they should kill her because she would soon turn into a zombie. But the others refused. So Kelly suggested they at least lock her up in the greenhouse. While locking Angel up, a contestant named Grayson said he was a nurse but needed some tools to try to save her. Kelly then told Space and Marky that there was a supermarket nearby where they could find supplies. It was dangerous to go out, but if they didn't, they'd all starve. They went to the roof to plan their move. Space made some noise to draw the zombies' attention toward him. Seeing that, they came up with an idea. Joplin and Veronica would go to the roof to shout and bang utensils to distract the zombies. As soon as the zombies turned their attention away, Kelly, Space, and Marky slipped out the back door. Space and Kelly made it to the car, but Marky took too long to close the gate, and the zombies spotted him. The players on the roof warned him, and Marky ran and jumped into the car, but a piece of metal pierced his hand. A little later, they reached the supermarket. Space stayed in the car while Kelly and Marky went inside quickly. Kelly threw a can to check if any zombies were around. When there was no sound, they began gathering supplies. Meanwhile, Rick saw on TV that the Big Brother-style show was still broadcasting, but the cameras were stuck on a single angle. Outside the supermarket, Space saw a police car passing by. He shouted to get their attention. 2 officers, Bob and Dan, got out and pointed their guns at him. But once they realized he was human, and one of the show's contestants, they lowered their weapons. Inside the supermarket, Kelly and Marky were gathering supplies when Marky accidentally dropped something, making a loud noise. The sound attracted 2 zombies. Both of them ran and escaped from the building. When the police saw the zombies, they opened fire. One zombie went down, but the other bit Bob. Dan immediately shot the zombie in the head and then shot Bob as well. Since Bob had been bitten, he would have turned into a zombie too. Dan then noticed the wound on Marky's hand and assumed that he had also been bitten. He quickly raised his gun to shoot Marky. But Kelly grabbed Bob's gun to protect Marky and shot Dan in the leg. Just then, a zombie appeared from behind and attacked Dan. The remaining 3 grabbed Dan's gun and fled the scene in their car. Meanwhile, in the greenhouse, Angel began to tremble violently, so Grayson, out of pity, untied her hands. Moments later she died. Grayson picked up a pair of scissors to stab her in the head, but suddenly, Angel came back to life, now as a zombie. A few seconds later, Veronica saw Grayson stumbling out of the greenhouse with blood pouring from his neck. She tried to help him, but Zombie Angel came out right behind him and attacked her too. Joplin, who was watching from inside, quickly locked the door. Grace fought back and somehow managed to push Angel into the swimming pool. Being a zombie, Angel couldn't swim and drowned there. Thinking it was safe, Joplin went to check on Veronica. But soon after, Grayson also turned into a zombie. Both Joplin and Veronica ran back inside and locked the door. Veronica said they had to kill the zombies, otherwise the others wouldn't be able to return inside. Joplin refused, saying he couldn't fight them. Then Joplin started banging loudly on the glass to draw the zombies' attention. Veronica opened the door and called out to Grayson. As soon as he came inside, Joplin threw a blanket over him, and Veronica repeatedly stabbed his head with a knife until he was dead. Then the 2 of them left the office and, ignoring the zombies, made their way to the control room. There they saw some people calmly having dinner. Patrick used the loudspeaker to ask for help, but everyone refused. Angry, Patrick smashed the control panel, triggering alarms and causing the shutters to close. With no other choice, Kelly's group decided to rescue them. Space and Kelly went to get them. When a zombie came near, Marky shot it from the roof. Inside the studio, another zombie jumped on Space, but Kelly shot it dead too. Finally, they found Patrick and Pippa, and all of them escaped the building together. When they reached the main gate, they saw a crowd of zombies heading toward them. Somehow, they managed to get back into the house. Patrick started acting like the boss again, which annoyed everyone. He suggested cutting up the dead bodies of Angel and Grayson and throwing the pieces outside to distract the zombies so they could slip past the gate. Everyone was disgusted by the idea, but Patrick started cutting them up anyway. Meanwhile, Rick finally reached the shore. But the moment he stepped onto land, a zombie began chasing him. Rick ran into the woods, but more zombies joined the chase. He quickly jumped over a fence, leaving them trapped behind. After walking for a while, he found a road leading straight to the studio. Quietly, he made his way inside. From the rooftop, Marky saw him, and, mistaking him for a zombie, opened fire. Inside, Rick was yelling that he was human, but Marky didn't stop shooting. Then suddenly, Kelly saw him and shouted, "Wait!" She quickly opened the back door, and Rick ran inside. The two looked at each other and immediately hugged. Kelly thought Rick had come to save her. But Rick explained that the zombies had taken over the whole world. There was nowhere left to go. Just then, Patrick said he was taking the car and leaving, asking if anyone wanted to come. But no one did. After a heated argument, Patrick decided to leave alone. Kelly fired a warning shot into the air to stop him, but he didn't listen. Space grabbed him, and Rick hit him with an axe, knocking him out. They tied Patrick up in the bathroom. Everyone sat down, wondering what to do next. Someone said they should kill him before he becomes a danger to everyone. Joblin went to check on Patrick and started feeling sorry for him. Patrick told him, "They're all going to kill you next. You'll be the next victim. They all make fun of you in the diary room." At first, Joblin didn't believe him, but when he heard that even Veronica mocked him, he grew angry and went back to the bathroom. The group decided not to kill Patrick, only to wound him instead. But before they could act, Joblin and Patrick stole a gun. Patrick took Kelly hostage, while Joblin grabbed the bag of meat and the car keys. Then both of them ran off, with the others chasing behind. Just as Joblin was about to reach the car, he slipped and fell. Rick saw his chance and attacked Patrick. Patrick fired his gun suddenly, and the bullet hit Rick. Kelly pressed her hand against his wound, trying to stop the bleeding, but Rick died. Joblin got into the car and sped toward the gate. Patrick ran after him, still carrying the meat. Enraged, Kelly picked up a gun and fired at Patrick, but missed. Then Joblin opened the gate, and all the zombies stormed inside. They killed Joblin, and everyone else ran back into the house, locking the doors behind them. But Patrick was left outside. Patrick threw the meat toward the zombies, shouting, "Eat this! Leave me alone!" But they all swarmed him and tore him apart. Now the zombies were slamming hard against the main door. Space noticed that Pippa was missing, so he went looking for her and reached the control room. Using the microphone, he spoke to everyone. Kelly told him to lower the shutters. He pressed a button, and the door was secured. But the zombies had already found the studio corridor, and they were now right outside the windows. Space warned everyone. Kelly shouted, "Open the diary room door!" Space tried, but the zombies reached him. He pushed a few away and shut the door, but others broke in from the other side, killing Marky and Veronica. Kelly somehow managed to fight them off with an axe. Space realized he had been bitten too. So he went back to the control room and opened the diary room door. Kelly went inside. Space saw that everything was over, even Pippa had turned into a zombie. Kelly said, "Everyone else is dead, so that means you're the winner of Big Boss." She added, "Now open the door, I need to get out of here." Space refused, but Kelly insisted. "I can't stay here any longer." He finally opened the door, and Kelly screamed and ran outside. By the next morning, everyone had turned into zombies, even Kelly. Her terrifying eyes were being broadcast live on TV screens across the entire country. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.